Napoleon Hill called the subconscious mind a connecting link, and it was referred to as the 11th step towards riches in his best-selling book, Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, I highly suggest you pick it up and read it. And by the way, like my late mentor, Bob Proctor, did, he said that this man spent 30 years or so of his life writing it. He decided he would spend the rest of his life reading it. Napoleon Hill also said that we become the master of ourselves and our environments because we have the power to control and influence our subconscious mind, and by doing so, we gain cooperation from infinite intelligence. Now, it's also been proven, though, that the subconscious mind is the connecting link between the thoughts that we think and what shows up in our lives in the form of success or failure, joy or misery, abundance or poverty, and anything else that you can possibly think of that has a negative or positive side to it. The question is then, how do you influence your subconscious mind to get what you want instead of continuing to get what you don't want? If you're not getting what you want in your life, my late mentor Bob Proctor used to say that our results are showing a very interesting story to the rest of the world. Look at your bank account balance. Look at your relationships. Look at anything. Observe that. If it's not ideal, then there's something going on with the subconscious that is not in the right way. We got to shift this for you. So if you want to get this, if you want to get the money, if you want to get the relationships, the business success, watch this video. I'm going to share with you the secret to shifting your subconscious mind in 5.5 steps in order to attract to you anything and everything that you could possibly want. Now, before I get into the 5.5 steps, it's important that you understand the relationship between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, because it'll help with that education and not coming from a place of ignorance. It helps understand and then integrate what I'm about to share with you. So get your pen and paper ready, and I'm going to walk you through the steps here. So let's talk about the conscious mind. The conscious mind it's been called the force that governs our 5 physical senses. And why is that? Because as we take information in, what we smell, what we hear, what we taste, how we touch, and what we see, those are our 5 physical senses. Then we are then using our conscious mind that actually thinks and formulates ideas from those 5 senses. It's where you feel and reason with and how we conduct business. And you bring information into your mind through the 5 senses, and then we get to choose. The benefit of the conscious mind, which wasn't around in our first 7 years, we call those the formative years, is that now that we are adults after the age of 7, the conscious mind is here. We get to decide which of these ideas and thoughts that we want to entertain, and then filter what we allow to be impressed upon the subconscious mind. We get to decide that, and many people don't believe that we can, but we get to control what we become emotionally involved in. And then that conscious mind in this way, think of it like the watchman that stands at the gate to the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is your power center. Every single thought your conscious mind accepts and emotionalizes with repetition. That's super important. That's all outlined in Think and Grow Rich when he talks about the auto-suggestion process. As our mind is a fertile garden spot, and it only accepts ideas that are emotionalized and repeated. That's a super important part of the process, and I'll get to that in the framework in just a second. It must accept. It has no ability to reject, which is why the subconscious is also called the subjective mind, because it has no ability to decide. It has to accept a command whether or not it wants to or not. It's a subject, it's not the ruler. It's the crew that faithfully obeys the orders from the captain, which is the conscious mind. Now, here's the deal. I said this is the 5.5 steps to control your subconscious mind, to shift your subconscious mind. Ignorance of how the subconscious mind works has been proven to be the sole cause for failure or success in life and business. And I know it sounds like a powerful, bold statement. Work with me on this one. This is absolutely true. This is the reason why the father of American psychology, William James, said that the power to move the world is in your subconscious mind. And the reason for that statement, that very bold statement, and what I'm sharing with you today, is that it is one with God. It is one with infinite intelligence. Napoleon Hill spent 30 years of his life, over a quarter of a century, interviewing the most successful people who walked the planet. And they had these common things that they shared with each other. And some of them were the subconscious mind. Every one of them knew the secret here. Every one of them felt this divine connection. When we can harness the power of thought and filter it through the subconscious mind, we are tapped in to the infinite, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's what he's talking about here. So we have to understand as well, people get confused with the subconscious mind and the brain. The brain is not the mind, and the mind is not the brain. The brain is an electronic switching station. The subconscious mind is more of movement. It's at a cellular level. It keeps our heart beating while we're sleeping. It keeps our lungs moving, so we don't think about these things. Subconscious mind is always at work. Okay, here are the 5.5 steps for shifting your subconscious mind. Number one, first and foremost, in order to even have a reason for shifting your subconscious mind, you have to have a reason for doing it. And we call that a goal, a big goal. I call them targets in my program. You have to have a target. So decide what you want. If you've never done this exercise before, sit down with a pad of paper and close your eyes and just sit there and just let the ideas flow in. The question at hand here is, what do I really want? Not what does my spouse want, not what do my kids want. Now, those are all important things. For this moment in time, ask yourself an important question you may never have asked before. What do I really want? What am I willing to spend to trade my life for? Because that's what you're doing. When you set a big goal, now what are the definitions of a big goal? I'll give that really quick here. It is, number one, you've never done it before. Number two, it scares you and excites you simultaneously. Number three, you don't really know how to do it. It's so big and bold that you don't have all the answers lined up. Super critical. If these things are not in place, it's not big enough. So just challenge yourself with this one, okay? And number four is it causes growth in the process. So if this goal is so massive, so big, so exciting, so scary, and you don't know how to do it, then in order to have it, you have to grow in the process. So that's what you need to do. Then secondly, a part of number one is you make a committed decision. You commit to doing it no matter what. Are you willing? Are you able? It's time to go. And then cut off, a committed decision is to cut off any ties of retreat. The word decide is Latin. It means to cut away from, decadir, to cut away from any possibility of retreat. Don't leave one foot in the box that I'm going to do and one foot in the box of I'm not going to do. Make a committed decision and it's time to go. Now, number two, write out your goal on 4 index cards. And you start off with, I'll tell you this in a second, but you put these 4 cards, put one at home on a mirror, put one in your car, one in the office, maybe it's on your monitor, and then put one in your pocket. Okay, so you're gonna have these all around you everywhere you go. Number 3, record in a present positive state in affirmation. Present positive is I am, so this is a present positive as though it's already done. Positive, I am so happy and grateful now. So start your affirmation off this way. I am so happy and grateful now. Notice it didn't say I'm going to be, or I will be, or I think I might be. It's I am so happy and grateful now. Right across the top. Now insert your affirmation, such as I am driving, I am living, I am experiencing, I am loving, speaking, spending, whatever you can do. Now, I talked about recording it. There's an app called the Parrot, P-A-R-O-T. It's an app you can record it in there, and it's going to loop over and over again, okay? So what's step number 4 then? Once you've recorded your affirmation and you're able to loop it, listen to your recording 5 times a day. Now, by the way, Napoleon Hill also outlines in Think We're Rich that failure to reach the subconscious mind and get the desired results is not a failure in the process. It's a failure in the individual. If you fail to do this, it's because you haven't followed the instructions to the letter. He's very clear about that. So 5 times a day in the morning when you first wake up, we're in this state. It's a twilight reverie. We're kind of coming out of sleep where our mind is still in a different sleepy state. And that's the time when you could drop in messages. Now, the same thing applies for when you're falling asleep at night. That's the first time to do it. You're drifting off to sleep. Put that Parrot app on with your affirmation and listen to it. Set it up for a timer for 15 minutes. So you literally fall asleep listening to your affirmation. And as you're doing so, your subconscious mind will marinate on that all night long. It's the last thing you listen to and the first thing you listen to. You're putting bookends on your sleeping experience. Your subconscious mind works on it all night long and begins to deliver to you the people, the circumstances, the events that will bring this to your life experience. And then throughout the day, 3 additional times, especially when you're experiencing stress or disbelief, or you have a negative thought in your mind, throw that app on and just listen to it for 15 minutes and get yourself into a positive vibration as quickly as possible. And then finally, look at your goal cards. This is number 5. Look at your goal cards daily. And then as you're doing so, as you see the goal card, don't just read those letters, those words unemotionally. He makes it very clear in the book as well that the subconscious mind can only be reached through repetition and through emotionalized words. You can't just say the word. This is probably the biggest reason why people fail to influence their subconscious mind and thereby fail to get what they want. But it's interesting that negative thoughts reach the subconscious mind faster and stronger because people are more emotional about negative thoughts. And that's why they're getting what they don't want, because the subconscious mind doesn't care. It doesn't distinguish between good, bad, right, wrong, up, down, left, right, hot or cold. It'll accept anything that you plant in it. So it has to be done with emotion and repetition. So imagine yourself as the person with the thing. Our subconscious mind cannot differentiate between reality and imagined reality. As we do this over and over again, this will be step 5.5, which would be the repetition part of this process. It's so important. Repeat this process. How long? Until the goal is achieved. Our obsessions become our possessions because our mind is a fertile garden spot. I'll repeat that again just in case you didn't hear that. What we obsess over eventually become our possessions. That the seeds have been planted in the fertile garden spot of our mind, as Napoleon Hill said over and over again in this book. And just because we can't see the plant coming through to the top of the surface of the garden doesn't mean it's not doing its thing down below. So you have to give it time, give it repetition, and use emotion, and you'll start to see little hints of your goal moving towards you. And sometimes they're just so small. Think of it this way. Think of it as God giving you like little breadcrumbs. Come on this way. Come on this way. And don't shove those off. Don't assume that it's just because that you're looking to manifest $1 million because you get a $100 bill that your goal isn't happening. No, that's a sign. It's a sign that it's on its way to you. If you like what I shared in this video, and this is resonating with you, this is but a glimpse of what I share with my coaching clients. I teach my clients, mostly entrepreneurs all over the world, how to use their subconscious minds to attract money, success, abundance, and even the perfect career or mate with absolute ease using the same process I just shared with you, but I go a lot deeper. So if you want to learn about my program, click on the link below and schedule a breakthrough strategy session with me, and you'll learn about what you want. We'll learn about that together. I'll ask you questions. What is it you're looking to accomplish? And I'll discuss the program with you, and we'll see if it resonates and if it's a good fit for both of us. Happy manifesting, my friends. I look forward to seeing you.